Hi, beautiful friends. Thank you for joining me here at the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree for the weekly moon phase reading. We will be looking at how the moon's affecting us emotionally, physically, and our higher selves as well. How we can integrate some lessons there. If you would like to book a personal reading, please look below for a reference to my website so you can do that. I would love to read for you. And before we look at the cards, let's just take a moment to talk about where the moon is this week. So we are going to start off with it in Leo energy. It's going to then go into Virgo. We will have a new moon in Libra, and then we will transition into Scorpio, which is where our sun is right now. So the moon is losing light still. And then it's going to be kind of, like rebirthed again by the end of the week. So you may be not feeling as engaged with your friends right now. You may not have quite the energy that you'd like to have to maintain that, or just things that you enjoy doing. You may also find that you're being a little lackluster on some of the day-to-day routines that you have going on and taking care of your health. So you just may be finding that you are, not as invigorated in those areas, which may then put your focus on something else. With the new moon in Libra, there's an opportunity there to really look at what's going on with your relationships, how you are showing up there, how another person may be showing up, or other people, and really if there's any harmony or balance that you can bring into that. You may have a new approach to that you'd like to try. And with that, you may find yourself going a little bit deeper than you had expected, where you may have just sort of came up with a theory there or an idea, but you may find yourself, as you try to move forward with it, as you try to test it, getting some feedback that may then make you kind of go a little bit deeper with your true intentions there, and you find yourself kind of negotiating, exploring the feasibility of things with that. Okay, so let me go in here intuitively and see what the cards would like to speak on. I may end up reading this a little bit more literally, taking some references from the actual words showing up on the cards. I am feeling like this is, sometimes I really find that the moon readings connect with the chakra readings that I do. Like sometimes this will have, which, I had designed them to do that. How funny, because originally when I came up with this reading, it was supposed to be kind of the theme to speak about the chakras. So it's because I put that intention out there. I've kind of deviated from that original intention, so I just made that connection again. So yes, so there's this like energy that a tomato kind of has, that holds, where we're like, is it a fruit? Is it a vegetable? And it flips, and we sometimes can't remember, or we argue which it is, and it doesn't really matter. What it then ends up holding is that it becomes a kind of a quizzical thing, like it doesn't hold its identity very easily. And I was speaking on that in the chakra readings. Like, you may be trying to do something and people are kind of confused in how you are appearing. Like, is it this or is it that? And the word coming out here is confidence. So this may be related to that somehow. Maybe you are trying to appear more confident by doing something. There's something going on there, though, for sure. Like there's something connected with your appearance and why you may be altering it, and why we may be seeing this involving your confidence as well. Now, when we look at the accompany card, it also says step out of your comfort zone. So, you may be kind of toying with this and trying something here, and I get like an element of awkwardness here. And then also for the helper card, we have eternal change. It will pass. So I really get this energy of you're trying to shift and it's just uncomfortable. This is not an easy change. It's like those weird adolescent years, like it almost has like that feeling of puberty where things just get awkward. So what I was advising in the end of the last one is to really try to own your truth as much. I wouldn't worry about how you're appearing as much as the energy that you're holding, like the true, like your innerness is more important than the outer thing. And I'm surprised I'm saying that, because I don't necessarily believe that. I do think that there is a huge thing in staging something and having it appear right. We're so very concerned with like how the design of something looks, that it carries, the voice of other things. But I guess what is more important in that is that whatever you're doing, it's not forced. That it's going to come off fake if it's forced, because it will appear unnatural. And that overall, I think, is, as like articulate as I can make my point here about this energy as it's been appearing for us. Now, I'm going to look a little bit at the cards that will be dealing with the physical aspect. So this could also be about our environment as well. I feel like there's there's something going here where you may be speaking and maybe things are just sort of passing you by, like you're not being heard, your audience isn't paying attention to you, yet you feel very passionate and you feel like you're bringing a lot of truth to what you're speaking about. And it's like you're also doing it in honor of other things that have come before you that have brought really large messages and stand for ideals that you adore. Yet the audience seems to be kind of just in, like it's just automated, like it's hard to get their attention. So, and this may be why there's been like costuming and stuff going on here, if this is making sense. But what I'm hearing from this card is that the respect that this spiritual figure gained was, yes, his words, he had many, but they were fairly simple in nature, and it's because of that he's been honored, because of the honest, simple truths and the vulnerability of his circumstances, of really, coming from the position that he was in and becoming something different. He went through a lot of trials and errors to get there, but it was in earnest. It was like he was authentic about it every step of the way. And that kept the obstacles away from him. Because he was not creating obstacles through his inauthenticity. So that may be of help here. Now I'm hearing draw on your like ancient power of, I'm hearing sexuality, but when I think of that, it's tied so much to creativity. So it's your ability to really bring things, to manifest things. Draw on your true nature, like the truest essence of yourself, and find your strength there. Find that you're backed by your DNA. Like if you are lacking that confidence, if you are, uncomfortable and stuff, look at where you truly come from and let that help support you and help give you the strength that you may need to understand your position where you're at right now. Because you come from a valid history. And your helper card is to release tension. So you may be holding a lot of tension in your body over this. The advice on it is, dear one, it is time to settle. Create a sacred space where you can be. In that place of rest, healing will unfold. So again, it's like if you force yourself into something, even though you do need to get out of your comfort zone, you can't do it in a way that's going to cause you physical harm. So if you're showing manifestations of physical upset, deal with those. But know that there are, there's like a deep, like you could, like there's symptoms, so you can kind of placate it a little bit. But there's deeper things going on here. And often, like this energy is something that you can usually master pretty quickly. We normally won't stay in uncomfortable energy for a great period of time. It may just be an initial sort of phase of entering perhaps something new that you're doing that is causing a little bit of insecurity. And I'm now going to look for anything from the higher self. Again, we're getting this like retreat energy. Let me see if anything else that wants to really... I'm hearing like you could have been, you can be great, like anyone can be great, but that's not the point. Like even if you've become great and memorialized, it doesn't mean that people are still going to remember you and honor you. That's not the ultimate goal necessarily. That there's something that extends beyond that preservation in this realm. That there's such an eternalness to you that whatever you're doing is part of your path as more of this eternal being. And then it may also be helpful to not only consider where you've come from, but yet the infinite potential of who you can become. And this is just a blurb in that expanse. As even our greatest monuments will eventually decay. So it's not about securing a perfected image here. And it seems like, aligning into your higher virtues. These are a couple of the strongest attainments. Compassion, so with passion, and divine wisdom. So know who you really are, and that may help build your confidence by staying connected to your own inner divinity and also this sort of sacred lineage that you have come out of, that there are energies in you that are so powerful and deep that you can tap into, that if you combine those two parts of that spectrum together, that you can, emerge somehow authentic through that identity that you can form through seeing that. Okay, that's going to be it. It's the best I can do for you. Thank you for joining me. Always a pleasure, and I'm wishing you well. Take care.